Frank Gore. I'm listening to 49er Rush. Niners all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is absolutely incredible to be with you this Sunday morning. It's before the Pro Bowl, which nobody's probably going to watch. There's no 49ers football or any team's football this weekend. And, man, I just thought it was a good time to jump on. 49ers are making moves. And that's kind of what I wanted this podcast to be about. We're in the offseason now. I started up my draft content last night, which I'm really, really excited. I already got 10 pages of notes. Cranked away a good 5-6 hours straight working on NFL draft content, which if you guys, this is your first offseason with us, you know we're going to cover the draft like no other with film and analytics and just everything you can. We go deep diving, not just first rounders, which, you know, this year, currently, the 49ers do not have a first round pick, but they do have 8 picks, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But I wanted to focus this podcast, mostly on the coaching changes that are taking place, but even more importantly than that, Kyle Shanahan's growing up. You have this guy, Kyle Shanahan, who young, first-time head coach, comes in young, and, you know, kind of surrounded himself with a lot of new, inexperienced coaches. And there wasn't a lot of experience there. That has changed dramatically in just 2 short days. And so, obviously, first off, hashtag Countdown Crew. What's up, hashtag CC? Love it, man. Good to see you, Jude. Good to be with everybody. And MK Green, he says, John, how are you feeling about the Lynn hire? Anthony Lynn, he's talking about, and Hightower pseudo firing. Man, okay. Couple things, and again, you always have to balance this with people and players. These are people. These are paychecks. These people need to make their money and support their families. Yeah, it's hard. I don't want Richard Hightower, our special teams coordinator, coming back. Nobody did. And so, like, I don't want to celebrate somebody losing their job. And thankfully, in this situation, we didn't have to. Kyle Shanahan did his buddy a solid, which Hightower and Shanahan went to University of Texas, hook them together, and gave him this job, hired him as soon as he came in, and 5 straight years of descending performances for the special teams unit. And, you know, he didn't fire him, which, again, you know, I keep saying this. The 49ers take care of their own. They really, really do. Even in the DeForest Buckner, they let him pick the team he wanted to go to. They let him negotiate a contract before they traded him. And here in this situation, Hightower, probably we're going to move on. He did a poor job. They didn't fire him. They basically told him, hey, go find a job. We're not going to fire you. And so just not only the PR respect move, but it's just taking care of your own. The Shanahan loyalty project, it's in full swing. But maybe we hit that next level to where, you know, again, you didn't fire him. You let him go find his own job. I saw Albert Breer. I just tweeted this out like a minute ago where he said, man, the Bears poach a respected, you know, coordinator from the 49ers. And like it just felt like, haha, they stole one. And I'm just like, what? You got to be kidding me. 49ers fans are so excited about this. And maybe the Bears just watched the Packers game. And if that's so, congrats to them. Bears want to beat the Packers. This guy might help you do that. Have fun. Bon voyage. Like, I hope he makes so much money. I hope he does well. He's an amazing human being. Awesome, you know, just dude. He's just a great dude. And you saw that in the press conferences. It just never correlated to the field besides one game. Your 49ers played, 20 games? Yeah, 20 games this year. 1 positive output special teams performance, EPOA, DVOA, in the entire season. 1 for 20. Not ideal. So very, very excited about that. Now, we don't have a special teams coordinator currently, but, man, I love it. I'm. This just shows, right? Shanahan loves Shanahan people. And this dude's as Shanahan-y as they get. And so to allow him to move on, this is Kyle Shanahan taking the next step. That's what I think is important, because he's insulated himself around. I mean, I don't want to use certain words that go with governments here, but like he's insulated himself around people that he knows and that will stick up for him. And experience was never there, even with the GM, John Lynch, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, all his people. Until, and this one was huge, when Coach John Embry, who was assistant head coach, tight ends coach, you hear Kittle talk about him all the time. He's like his favorite guy. Embry coached Tony Gonzalez, right? He coached a lot of stud tight ends, and he was the assistant head coach. But Kyle Shanahan basically asked him, and again, understand this. You can say John Lynch. This is Kyle Shanahan's show. Lynch does have some control, but when Shanahan says jump, everybody jumps, and that includes John Lynch. Shanahan brought Lynch in. So just understand that. The extension for Kyle got done, then the extension for Lynch got done. That's just the way it is, and it's the way it's going to be. That's not changing anytime soon. However, one thing that is changing is that he let go of John Embry. They asked him to take a pay cut and stay on as tight ends coach. He refused, and so they just let him go. Now, why did they do that? Because they brought in Anthony Lynn as the assistant head coach. Now, he's not going to be a tight ends coach. I love Anthony Lynn. I have been on record for 3+ years. And again, it goes into what is it that you value in a head coach? Go back and watch the Hard Knocks episodes whenever they did the Chargers 2 years ago, and you can just see what type of man this is. I mean, one, he looks like Idris Elba, which is hilarious. But one, he's a former 49er. He was a quality control coach under Mike Shanahan, the dad, and played for the Broncos when Mike Shanahan was there. And so he played for the Niners for 2 years. He was mostly a backup special teamer. But this is a dude that players and coaches, everybody loves. Nobody says anything bad about him, right? Now you say, well, why did he get fired as head coach? Well, he was right around 300. He was 33-32. That's his career win-loss record with the Chargers, and he had one game as assistant head coach before then with another team. I forget which one it was. But I mean, he's over 500 as a coach. It's just he couldn't make that next step. He was the offensive coordinator last year with the Detroit Lions with no talent whatsoever. They didn't do great. I don't think there's really a lot to measure with that. But, like, listen to these coaches. This guy's coached under Mike Shanahan, Bill Parcells, Rex Ryan. Did you see the clip where Rex Ryan, like, broke out into tears whenever, like, talking about Anthony Lynn? Like, that's the impact he made. I'm not a Rex Ryan guy at all. But he's a very good defensive coach and kind of a POS, I'll be honest. At least that's the way he comes across. But, like, you could break that dude's heart. Like, that tells you the type of person this is. Jack Del Rio, Romeo Crennel. Like, he's been with a lot of people. Now, he was a running backs coach for 14 years. He coached with the Jags, Cowboys, Browns, Jets, Bills, and then, obviously, the Chargers, then the Lions, and now he's with us. And I love this. I absolutely love this. I think it's paramount on kind of who Kyle Shanahan's trying to build, right? Like, get some more experienced coaches around you that have been through it and allow them to have some input so that it's not just Kyle Shanahan versus everybody. Now, a lot of people assumed that the Anthony Lynn hiring meant Mike McDaniel is gone. I don't see it that way. I don't think this was this was an assistant head coach. And if, let's just say Mike McDaniel, the current offensive coordinator, gets hired in Miami, which I put it at 50-50 right now. I think he's one of two finalists, and Miami loves anything to do with Kyle Shanahan, so it makes sense. And again, I don't think Anthony Lynn becomes the OC if McDaniel's gone. I don't think that's what that is. They're going to promote from within people that have been around Shanahan. That's just what it's going to be. It's so, like, I don't see these as correlated. This was trying to get more experience and people to check Kyle Shanahan in a positive way with some experience, especially in the fourth quarter, game planning, things like that. This is especially somebody that's dealt with a rookie quarterback, right? This guy was the head coach for Herbert whenever he made the transition in as rookie of the year. So you have somebody that's been through that experience before with the very young, physically gifted, mobile, rocket arm, all those things. And so you want to replicate some of those effects. So I love this hiring. I love this dude. I shared a clip on Twitter again this morning from him when he was mic'd up, I think 3 or 4 years ago. And the dude's just hilarious. Walking around, keeping practice light, making fun of people's hats and all that stuff. I want him to make fun of Kyle Shanahan's hat game. Not that I'm disrespecting Kyle Shanahan's hat game, but I just think it would be awesome. So I love this hire. I really, really do. Now let's see here. Mr. Superfly says, do you think Miami might have screwed their chances up at landing McDaniel with the story about the owner tanking? Yeah, man, it's a bad look, but it's not a bad landing spot for Mike McDaniel. And so I think if they offer it, he's taking it. I would take it if I was McDaniel, because you've seen what Mike McDaniel has done. And I want to give, hold on, let's jump over here. And because we have a clip, thank you to Juan Solis, the best man I have freaking ever met. Dude's amazing. Cut up these clips from the 40 Hours press conference. I'm going to spread them out because, again, we're in the off season. So this isn't like, okay, I got to get 4 episodes done this week because there's so much stuff going on. I want this to be a deep dive podcast. Now, let me just say this real quick. One thing that we are going to do a little bit differently, I'm still going to always have these long form podcasts that we do. I love them, engaging and jumping back and forth in the chat. But I'm also going to be adding a lot more short content on our YouTube channel, kind of 10 to 20 minute videos, just with because again, I need to record in the morning sometimes because I'm still teaching. This is my last year, but so I'm going to be throwing up a couple more short videos on our YouTube channel only. So the long form podcast not going anywhere. But I'm hoping to put out more content moving forward. And again, the only place you can get that is going to be on YouTube. So John Chapman, just type that in YouTube, it'll pull up, or 49ers Rush if you want that, if you want more content going into the offseason, especially draft stuff. But again, thanks to Juan Solis. Here's a clip. Listen to Kyle Shanahan talk about Mike McDaniel and why he deserves a head coaching job.
He gets the head coach job there. I'll be very happy for him and his family. Obviously, I don't want to lose Mike. Mike, I think people made a bigger deal out of Mike this year because he had the title all by himself. But Mike did the same thing this year. He's been doing the last 4 or 5 years. So Mike's always been such a big part of what we do here. He always focuses on the run game. That's his area of expertise. But Mike helps me in all aspects of offense. We brought Bobby Slowick in, who kind of took a little bit of LaFleur's role. But that didn't change what we do with Mike. And he was just as big in 2019 as he is this year. So Mike's always been good at what he does. He always will be, and he deserves to get some of these opportunities people are talking about.
So he deserves it. And again, there's not a big jump going from Jimmy G to Tua. I've said, and I'm not the only one that said this. I don't even think I'm the one that came up with this. But he was my player comp for Tua, was Jimmy G. Like, streaky quarterback that when he's bad, he's real bad. Whenever he's good, he's very efficient, doesn't have a strong arm, and it's just streaky, backed by a very good defense. And so, like, the fitting, they already run a very similar scheme offensively, wouldn't be a huge transition. Like, I think it's a good fit. Expectations are low. Their owner wants them to tank. Not a big fan of the owner at all, but I would take that job if I was Mike McDaniel. I think it would fit. I think it fit very, very well for him. Now, as much as, I'm keeping this at a 50-50. So I think there's a 50% chance he stays this year. And, now we have a 100% chance that DeMeco is staying. And this was the biggest shot. I thought he was gone, right? It was down to him and I think Nathaniel Hackett for like 2 jobs, and then the Vikings job, right, was, Harbaugh and all these things. But there's just too much momentum around it. And sure enough, on the bus ride back, he pulled his name. And I just think that this is just a testament to the 49ers and what they're building, that you're able to bring an offensive coordinator from Detroit over as an assistant head coach. You're able to keep DeMeco Ryans, who's this young, promising stud defensive coordinator that just shut down Aaron Rodgers. At home in the playoffs, with number 27 out there starting 3 positions, right? Like, that is, the dude's going to get a head coaching job probably next year, but enjoy this time while we have him. And here's Kyle Shanahan just talking about how DeMeco texted him on the bus ride and how Kyle found out that DeMeco pulled his own name from the head coaching job.
Now, DeMeco didn't tell us before. I mean, he told us on the bus after heading back from LA, and I was kind of messing with him on the loudspeaker, and he just sent a text up to me that he had declined it, and it was just, that's DeMeco. I'm proud of him for doing it. I mean, Minnesota's a great place, but DeMeco's a stud. DeMeco's going to be a head coach. He's too good not to be, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, whether it's any time. But DeMeco's going to be a head coach, and I think it helps all people. The more experience you get at every position, it only helps you, makes you more prepared for when you get that moment. Not to say if he wanted it this year and he's ready, but he's only going to get stronger every year that he coaches, regardless of what he's coaching. But it was cool that he had the confidence to make that decision, whatever he thought was best for him and his family. And I know we're very grateful he did, because it makes the Niners better, and I think it's going to make him continue to get better also.
I'm so pumped. I mean, it's hard not to compare Robert Saleh to DeMeco Ryans, right? In their first year, and first-time coordinators, linebacker coaches that kind of moved up the coordinating ranks and what that looks like. But the pantry was bare when Robert Saleh had his first year, and he never made adjustments. That was always my biggest critique for those of you that have been with us for, this is year 6 now. I hated that. DeMeco, man, he's great at making adjustments for the most part. If you listen to our Patreon breakdown of the defensive performance of the NFC Championship, yeah, we struggled with that one. We didn't make a lot of adjustments. Blitz way too much against Matt Stafford, didn't work out, but that's okay. And let me just say this: if you want to go check, we have every single offensive play from the entire year, all 20 games, covered on Patreon, broken down, schematics, all that stuff. All there. We also have every single defensive snap from all 20 games, really even more than that, because we did preseason as well. It's all there. So I know the NFL pulled Game Pass and their coaching tape. You want that? If you're in 49ers withdrawals at any point in this season, go over to patreon.com, type in 49ers Rush in the search bar, subscribe there. As soon as you subscribe, you get every single one of those videos the minute you subscribe. Hundreds of hours of content. And we added, another 3 hours this week from the NFC Championship game. And on top of that, tonight, I saw Matt, thank you for the gift, man. He says, was having Chapman withdrawals this week. Thank you for the gift on the super chat, man. On to the future. That's exactly right. And so what we're going to do tonight for Patreon tier, Jerry Rice tier members only, we have our Zoom hangout that we do once a month, but we have 2 monthly meetings this month, which I'm excited. And so tonight at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to jump on together and we're going to talk about sharing memories throughout the season before we wrap it up and start moving forward. 3 favorite and 3 least favorite moments of this season that we're going to be sharing and talking together. And if you've not participated in one of these, it's incredible. It's just an hour long, and we just hang around and we chat. I call it the 49ers Brain Trust because I get more information from these guys and gals that I give them. But go check it out. If you haven't and you want to see what it's like, join. Come to the meeting. You don't like it, I'll credit and refund everything back 100%. No questions asked. So come check us out. Again, that's patreon.com. Type in 49ers Rush. And 2, it's a way to support the podcast. I mentioned how this is my last year teaching and coaching. Moving forward, all for you guys. That's what this is doing. And Patreon's one of the ways that's going to allow me to do that. So thank you guys for the support. Excited to hang out tonight. I see you in the chat, Sin. Excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Raymond, thank you for the gift, man. He says, we are heading in the right direction, and we're going to be good for a long time to come. Also, did you watch JT O'Sullivan's QB School? I do watch it sometimes. During the season, it's kind of hard for me to, but in the offseason, yeah, I try to stock up considerably. I've not seen his NFC West Championship breakdown. I like JT O'Sullivan whenever he's talking about film. I don't like his hot takes and draft work too much, but whenever he's talking about film, he is spot on. Outside of that, I'm going to stay away from JT O'Sullivan. That's just my take. But again, you find what you're comfortable with and kind of go from there. Niner Joe says, who do you think we will bring in as the new special teams coach? Heard they are looking at the Raiders ex-head coach. That's who I would try to hire. Rick Bisaccia. He's a great dude. Everybody loves him. Again, very similar mold to Anthony Lynn. Head coaching experience, a lot of depth, not a newbie. He will be paid. He will be the highest paid special teams coach wherever he goes. I know that he's in talks with Green Bay, and that would be a great spot for them because they were dead last in special teams. He got knocked out of the playoffs for it. So it's going to be a little bit of a bidding war, and he deserves it. Now, coaching contracts are usually confidential, so we don't know unless the team or the coach lets us know. And another thing, coaching contracts don't count against the cap. It ain't my money. That's New York's money. And I hope they freaking make him the highest paid special teams coach. I would do it right now. Raiders should have kept him. They got rid of one of the most authentic human beings in the NFL that got their team to the playoffs during like hell season with all the stuff going on with DUIs and coaches and racism and whatever else. He kept them together and got them to the playoffs. And they let him go and hired one of the most unauthentic, like terrible people whenever it comes to relationships in the NFL. McDaniels coming out of, I just don't understand. It's the Raiders. It's what they do. I think it was a huge mistake, and it's going to cost them big time. I'm going to laugh when they draft the next Tebow, or he quits next week. Good Lord. Can't stand that dude. So, yeah, that's who I would want to go after. After that, man, you could throw so many names out there, but do you want to take somebody from a current job with another team, or do you go after a coach that's currently unemployed? Do you promote from within? I don't want to do that. I do not want to promote within, but I would still be okay with it because the decision to move on from Richard Hightower sends a message. It's a coordinator. This is Kyle Shanahan's close friend from college, who he's known for 20 years, that he just let go. That sends a message to everybody in the special teams room. Imagine you're a special teamer and you're just like, oh, they got rid of the coordinator? All right, things got to change. And so we made it to the NFC Championship. It's not like we're void of talent and it's just like, oh, let's rebuild all these things. No. That's not it. That's not it at all. But it's not being, content with your results. No. You want to win a Super Bowl. That's always the goal. Now, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, whoever you want to credit the success to, that's a whole separate argument, have gotten to 2 NFC championships in 3 years, 1 Super Bowl in 3 years, but you haven't won a Super Bowl yet. And today, this is what's crazy. I think it was 6 years ago today or 5 years ago today. Yeah, 5 years ago today was when they announced the hiring of Kyle Shanahan. We're on the anniversary. What's up, baby? And I know that when the 49ers were, sitting at 2-4 and then 3-5, a lot of people were like, let's get rid of Kyle and all these things. No. Very, very happy. Very, very pleased that we still have Kyle Shanahan as our coach. And I mean, with what they've been able to do, I think it's awesome. I really do. Sneak in the playoffs, that was rough. But once you got in there, the way this team is built, it's designed to do well in the playoffs. Running game, good defense. And again, you look at, we won a game in the NFC West, or in the divisional round, with 13 points. That's stupid against Aaron Rodgers. And so, yeah, man, we'll see with what, the next step is. And I'm going to do a whole entire episode on, Trey Lance and Jimmy G and all those things and the transition and what that looks like and compensation. Like all those things are coming out. But before we do, that's going to be a whole separate episode. But I want to talk a little bit of draft and picks and what that looks like right after this word from MyBookie. Even though fantasy football season's over, it doesn't mean that there's not excitement whenever you keep everything alive with MyBookie's double deposit bonus. Having your initial deposit matched all the way up to $1,000 is like playing every game with home field advantage. So all you have to do is head to mybookie.ag and use promo code 49ERS, or you can use the QR code on the screen. Get the funds credited to your account instantly so you can start placing your bets with MyBookie. Now, with the NFL postseason on full swing, there's no shortage of games to choose from with MyBookie. And here's what I'll tell you, man. MyBookie is home to the exclusive contests that can be used to maximize your winnings and make 2022 your best year yet. We crushed 2021. So be with us as we continue betting with MyBookie for 2022. Don't miss out. Double your first deposit up to $1,000 using promo code 49ERS. Place your bets and get ready for intensity playoff action. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right. Now, if you want to bet the Super Bowl, currently the Rams are favored 4.5 points. But I don't want to talk too much Jimmy G. But they also have a prop bet up on MyBookie for the Browns starting quarterback game 1 of the 2022 season. Baker Mayfield's the favorite, and Jimmy Garoppolo is number 2. So I mean, that's a good fit. It's a good fit. They run a similar scheme with Stefanski and all that stuff. Anyway, that's there. So, again, there's lots of bets, all this halftime props and national anthem stuff and coin toss. They got everything over there, whatever you want. But I want to talk about the draft picks the 49ers currently have. So, currently the 49ers have 8 draft choices. No first-round pick. Okay? So, we have our original pick in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. Those are original. Then after that, it gets a little weird. Okay, we have our 6th round pick is actually up by about 20 picks or so. And we don't have our original 7th, but we do have 3 compensation picks coming our way. And again, listen to the people that we got these 3 7th rounders from. Solomon Thomas, we get a 7th. Kerry Hyder, we get a 7th. And CJ Beathard, baby. CJ Beathard, we get a 7th, which actually is going to be the last pick of the draft. So the 49ers will be the last team to make a draft choice in the NFL. Now, Kendrick Bourne would have gotten us a 6th round pick, but we signed Samson Ebukam for similar money, so they canceled out. Akella Witherspoon would have got us a 6th round pick, but Alex Mack and his contract that we brought in canceled that out as well. So with the way it's currently slated, we have 8 picks. So it's not like we're devoid of draft picks. However, we don't have a pick in the top 60. Our first pick is pick 61, which is rough. Now, I do fully expect that to change. Jimmy Garoppolo will be traded this year, okay? And it's happening. I'm just telling you right now it's going to happen. What that's going to be, we'll talk about that. But let's listen to the head coach talk about what this is like moving from Jimmy to Trey, and you can see how he tries to keep it ambiguous, but make no mistake about it, Jimmy's getting traded this year.
If we knew exactly what was happening, we would have told Jimmy. But this season just ended, and we got a great young quarterback who was a rookie, and we have a great quarterback here who's a veteran. And, we've had Jimmy here for 5 years, and he's got to play in 2 of those seasons fully. And, before this year was only 1 out of 4 years. And that was our big worry going into it, that we could not go into another year where he didn't make it through. And he only missed 1 game this year. And in the 2 years he's played, he's taken us to a Super Bowl, and he's taken us really close in the NFC Championship game. So I got the ultimate respect for Jimmy, and I'm very excited about Trey. And that's where we're at right now. I mean, Jimmy's made it a lot harder because he stayed healthy, and he played like he is capable of playing, which is, to me, one of the better quarterbacks in this league. So we're in a tough situation not a tough situation, you're in a situation where you got to make some tough decisions that won't be easy, but it's I'm happy about that. That means you got the best scenario going, and that's why we got to put a lot of thought into this. And, John and I talking to Jed and everything, and Jimmy will know everything as we go.
And so again, I mean, it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. But the question is, what is it that you want for him? I put this poll up on Twitter just a couple days ago, and I'm trying to get it typed up on YouTube right now, which is a lot of fun going back and forth, but why not? Just some options that I think that we could do. And I do think that Jimmy is worth probably a mid-second pick. I think that's what you'll get for him. But the question comes for, are you willing to get creative? Are you willing to change some things up and, maybe add some capital or keep some cap space back so that you can get a better return? Because would you rather just have pick number 40, which is a strong possibility, or would you rather, again, incentivize that? And I'm throwing this up on there now for just some options. So I'm going to ask which trade for Jimmy. This is on YouTube only, so if you guys are listening or somewhere else, this is only going to be on there, but I'll let you guys know what the results are and what the results are for Twitter as well. Now, Jimmy was asked, is there a chance he can return? Jimmy's he could be a politician, man. He's got to look for it.
I'll never close every door completely. I think there's a possibility of anything. I think just we need to have those conversations here in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, and really get the ball rolling on that. I mean, football is you get into such a routine. Just talking to some of the guys about it, that every day is so consistently the same, and you get into a rhythm of that when it ends, it comes to such a halt, and it's hard to put all the scenarios into play right now. But I think those things will work themselves out. I've had a great time here with the Niners organization, with the faithful. Everything here has been awesome. Been some ups and downs, obviously, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
He's not coming back, okay? And again, I know this question's going to come across a lot. Thank you, Steven. What are the chances the 49ers get Rodgers? 0. Absolutely 0. Rodgers, if he gets traded, which they should, just because there's a chance he could retire. They're not trading him to a contender in the NFC. Quarterback trades of, Hall of Fame level, players are cross-conference. So he'll be traded to the AFC. Denver, something like that. That's where he'll go. He's, Steelers or somewhere like that. He's not going to the 49ers. It's not happening. You just look at his salary cap numbers. They're gigantic. We're trying to get cap relief, not lose it. So the 3 options that I put up on YouTube: trade Jimmy straight up for pick 40. You look at the Denver Broncos, they have pick 40. He would be, an upgrade for sure at the quarterback position. And I think that's about what his value is. Now, the second option is Jimmy plus our second rounder, pick number 61, to Pittsburgh for their first rounder. That's pick number 20. So you're jumping up into a top 20 pick, but you're losing Jimmy, which is going to be cap relief for sure, and you're losing your second pick. So the question here is, you get the same amount of picks, but you get a higher quality of pick. That one won on Twitter, actually, which I was surprised with 46%, over 2,000 votes on Twitter. And then the third option, Jimmy plus a third rounder for the Bucs number 27 overall pick. And I know the Bucs system doesn't really fit Jimmy too well, but does Bruce Arians want to start over with a rookie QB? I sincerely doubt that as well. And again, you can get into all this, it won't work because of that. But I think these are the type of returns that I think that you can look at. I think these are the type of things because, again, you're not trading Jimmy just to anybody. The 49ers take care of their own. I don't know if you've seen the videos. Right after, the 49ers were partying in Vegas last 2 nights with Jimmy Garoppolo. DeForest Buckner came out, man. They're freaking close. They take care of their own. And Jimmy, they're going to take care of. And here's what Jimmy asked to be traded. If he is going to be traded, he wants to go to a winning team.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit. I think more will happen in the days to come. But, yeah, these guys have been very upfront about the whole thing. I was talking to John yesterday just about, finding the right destination and whatever, the future holds, just doing it the right way. And it's, got a long career ahead of me. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the opportunities to come. I just want to go to a place where, where they want to win. I mean, that's really what I'm in this game for. I'm here to play football, here to win football games. And as long as I got that and good people around me, I think the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, he deserves it. I don't want to trade him to the Giants or a terrible franchise where it's just going to be whatever. Because, again, this locker room loves Jimmy. The way you handle this will recoil for years on this is a franchise you want to go to, because even though Jimmy's had the injuries, even though it's been up and down, fans love him or hate him, whatever, the dude's won games, and he got us to the NFC Championship in 2 out of 3 years. How many other... I saw a post. Jimmy Garoppolo has more playoff wins than the Cowboys have in 22 years. Jimmy Garoppolo has that. And you reward that, right? You got to reward that. And so, I don't know, man. You take care of this dude. Send him somewhere good. Joe, I love this question. What is the Vegas over-under for how many times we move up or down in the NFL draft? Lynch almost broke the record in his very first year. Now, I do think this is one of the areas where John Lynch has kind of say-so, is jumping up and down the draft board. I think Kyle's like, okay, I'd prefer this player over that player. But Lynch is the guy that facilitates the trades and all that stuff. And so, like, again, this is something that I would credit him to. And also, let me say this. I've pushed all my chips in, guys. I'm just going to be honest. We're throwing the biggest Niners draft party ever in Las Vegas. We've got our venue. We're selling tickets. 49ers Rush Road Trip. You guys know it. 49ersRushRoadTrip.com. Go check it out. We've got Elijah Mitchell. We've got Fred Warner coming out. And it's going to be incredible. We're going to be broadcasting the entire day 1 and day 2 of the draft. We only have tickets up for day 1 right now. But it's a Vegas party on the Strip. Very Vegas-esque club that we have rented out where it's just going to be us. It's not people can come in off the street, just us. Drinks included, food included. It's a pretty pity, but I think it's going to be worth it. So head to 49ersRushRoadTrip.com and check out your tickets. Now, we only have, I think it's like maybe 15 autographed tickets available if you want to have a meet and greet with Fred Warner and Elijah Mitchell. After that, rest of the tickets are either, if you want a VIP like spot table and you get your autographs that way, you could do that for up to 6 people, or just meet and greet. You want to come, drink, hang out, party. We're going to have a lot of people there, a lot of 49ers content creators there as well. The amount of time that Dell, if you've come to some of our Rush Road Trips, he's kind of my business partner, helps out with a lot of that stuff behind the scenes. We put in a lot of time on this. But I promise you, it's selling out. We only have 200 spots. So when it's sold out, I cannot create more capacity. So if that's something you want to do, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be the party of a lifetime. The whole entire plan in putting this together, how do we throw the most badass draft party in the history of 49ers? How do we make this the best experience ever? We're bringing in Fred Warner and Elijah Mitchell, and you get to hang out with them and watch this broadcast. It's going to be incredible. So head over there. Help us out because we've already got the place reserved, and it's going to be a blast. We only have so many spots. 49ersRushRoadTrip.com. Philip, what's up, man? Thank you for the gift. He says, looking forward to the offseason with the 49ers Rush. Took a couple days off this week. Going to take a couple days off next week. But we're still going in full swing. We're going to keep it rolling. S1K Friday. He says, thank you for the gift, man. He says, everyone hit that like. John, is Trey ready to start? And how is our quarterback department? I'll say this. And the 49ers knew they had Jimmy Garoppolo long-term if they wanted him. They chose to jump up. They chose to jump up and go get Trey over Fields, over Mac Jones. They chose him. Then they parked him. They had him all year. We got to see him start 2 games. One of the games he was injured with his throwing thing, and that's whenever he ran all the time against the Cardinals. But then they saw him against the Texans, made the NFC Championship run, and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch said, yep, this is our guy. This is our guy. And so we have to take Shanahan and Lynch in this organization on their word with their actions and what they're doing for Trey Lance. They believe that he's ready to start. Otherwise, you don't move on from Jimmy. You don't have to. He's got a $25 million cap hit this year. It's like number 20 in the NFL. It's not even like that. It used to be huge 3 years ago. Now the salary cap's going up. Once all free agency goes through, it's going to be like the 30th or 40th highest contract this year, especially cap-wise. Like, you don't have to move on from that deal. Now, if you can move on from it and get that cap relief and draft capital, that's huge, and I think that's what the 49ers are going to do. But listen to what Kyle said about Trey Lance and what they found out about who Trey Lance is this year.
I think what I learned the most about Trey is I learned that he was the person that we were banking on him being. I mean, when you go through a draft process, and especially the COVID rules we had where you weren't allowed to really be with someone in person, you were allowed to watch them at a distance from a pro day. You're allowed to have Zooms and talk to them. And so we got to put a lot of time into that stuff. So I felt like we really had a good feel of who he was. But, I mean, you never know until you really get with someone. And just being with him this whole year, he's the good person, the good human that we thought. He has the work ethic we thought. He's as smart as we thought. He's got a natural charisma to him that I believe is a leader, and he's kind of the baby on the team this year, just in terms of his age and stuff like that. But he has a presence to him that people will gravitate to when he has that position. Stuff I thought he learned the most of was, this was his first time playing in almost 2 years, and we asked him to do a lot of different things, and just watching him play in the pocket, watching him work on play actions and stuff that he didn't get as much to do in college. He had never done a 7-step drop before, which is how a lot of play actions are. He'd always done 5, and trying to mess with his feet and timing of all different types of plays. I thought it was great for him. It was a great experience for him, and I think it was good that he could kind of sit back and watch all that and not get forced into stuff where he's learning it and doing it for the first time at full speed on versus NFL defenses, because it's a lot harder. But yeah, towards the end of the year, I never thought about just trying to get him in, because I knew that was about to come. I mean, when we were at 3-5, that was kind of the breaking point where I knew it was getting close. I know everyone else thought it was there, but I agreed it was getting close to there. But once we won that game and went to 4-5 and ended up winning 4 in a row, I thought we had a chance. And when you're doing that, you don't want to mess with the team. If I would have done it for strategic reasons, if I thought it helped, but I wasn't going to do it just to help Trey get 4 to 6 plays and ease him in at that time, because that's not what we were thinking about at that time. We were thinking about how we can get our team to the playoffs, and once we got to the playoffs, we were thinking how we could win each game, because we knew only one team was going to be happy at the end, and we're not that happy.
We're not that happy. But to see Trey and to go through what they went through this year and to say, this is our guy moving forward, still, after having him in the building for a year, you have to take that as confidence. They could be wrong. Trey could be a bust. Those are possibilities. But they don't feel that way. In fact, they're willing to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo because of how strongly they feel about Trey. Anthony says, we could have got him at 12. Maybe. But Kyle Shanahan liked this kid so much that he was willing to go up so that he couldn't miss out on him. And again, take this franchise at their word with their actions, and they both match up. And if Trey Lance pans out, last year was a huge success draft-wise. If he does. It's not about Trey Sermon. It's not about Jalen Moore. Now, Elijah Mitchell seems like a gem. Talanoa Hufanga seems like a gem. Ambry Thomas seems like a long-term starter. So the draft shaked out, not the way we wanted to as fans, right? We want our second-round pick to play. Aaron Banks, haven't seen him too much, whatever. But trust me, Trey Lance is a good quarterback. It was a success. That's all there is to it. And so you take it and you move on. And I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to see what he is. Obviously, I've been the Trey Lance guy from the start, right? I'm a big fan. Kali, he says, are we going to sign Tyrod Taylor as the backup? I sure as hell hope so. That is a perfect signing. And you can get him for relatively cheap. Oh my gosh, that would make me so happy. You want to keep Nate Sudfeld as the third option competition, but I don't think you want Sudfeld as the true backup moving forward. He's a good number 3 guy, but we'll see there. Oh, Kali says, thank you for the Juice jersey. He's all the way out in Alaska. Yeah, you're welcome. Another hashtag CC winner. Thank you, Kali. Appreciate that, man. And, I love this quarterback room. I love this team. I'm excited for where they are. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to get going through this draft process. But again, tonight, just a reminder, if you haven't checked it out yet, we got our Jerry Rice tier monthly Zoom hangout. That's for Patreon, Jerry Rice tier members only. Go check that out. Patreon.com, 49ers Rush Podcast. And again, if you want to go back through the NFL season, we've got every single snap covered. It's all there. So just want to say thank you guys. And again, just another real quick reminder, we're going to be doing a lot of shorter episodes over on YouTube. YouTube only. So if you haven't subscribed there, go hit subscribe, turn that notification bell on, just so you can get some more 49ers content throughout this offseason. Thank you guys. And as always, man, it's the start of the offseason, but we got a lot to be happy about. So it's pretty damn easy. Stay strong, faithful.